First half. Jones, they leave Ridley open, and he attacks and look to finish, but a blocking foul here as Wakoni hung in there.
Boy, he went strong to the basket. He was looking to take anybody with him. Ridley was going to the basket and trying to throw it down, and he looked for authority, and he just saw the rim. I could just imagine the dunk contest that go on at that Iona gymnasium.
And there's some talk that Glover could participate in the NCAA dunk contest. Takes place during the Final Four. Still a long time left before it comes to that. But Ridley, a high flyer too, 6'7". He's a junior college transfer from Lawson State in Alabama, but prepped at John F. K. High in the Bronx. Able to hit the first 16 fouls against the Pride. Ridley added this year for his size and rebounding. Able to knock down the second to even up the game at 22. And Mike Moore, after a very brief rest, will come back in.
Well, that's how Mo Cassera is going to have to work his subs, by giving everybody a quick blow, 1 or 2 minutes here and there to keep those legs fresh in order to keep up this pace of the game.
McMillan weaving through. Moore, a really long three. And quickly, the Gales love to run. Machado looking for another lob. Instead, he missed it by keeping it himself.
And he had him on the wing, and Momo Jones was on the right side waiting for it.
McMillan perhaps going too fast. Oh, behind the back, Imes. 5-footer, yes.
And things are falling for Hofstra, and McMillan is really taking over the game. And Mike Moore with the steal and the score.
4 quick ones for Hofstra to lead 26-22. Jernell Jenkins. Glover, he has added the outside shot this season, but not that time.
And you know, Glover, when he stood there, he wasn't comfortable on the shot, and that's not where he's at its best.
7.5 to play. And Hofstra able to lead the 10-2 Iona Gales so far without yet a big spurt or a big game, really, from Mike Moore, who averages 20 a game. Imes rejected by Glover. Jenkins pushing. Glover hop step stripped and then saved by Imes. Up ahead, it's Moore. Jenkins will let him go.
And as you talk about winning the battle of transition, teams going back and forth, defensive stops, but Hofstra wins the battle at the end.
A timeout, Iona. Hofstra, a 6-point lead in this rivalry game.
And a great stop there, gets to the inside. Great save for Imes, and up the court is Mike Moore for the recipient of the finish. And another great behind the back pass. David Imes really becoming a factor in this first half. And then a steal on the inbounds pass. Mike Moore catching the Gales sleeping.
Hofstra as a team has 7 steals here for Mo Cassera, forcing 11 Iona turnovers. Iona came in averaging just 13 a game, averaging 86 points per. It's the first game for both teams off the Christmas break, so you may expect, of course, the players getting just a little bit into the rhythm of things after just about 3 days of practice. Machado. Open look at a 3, Sean Armand. Jones flying in the air. Second effort, tipped out. And Glover had the foul on the rebound. We'll step away. Free throws coming up for Iona. Hofstra by 6 on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. Hofstra graduate and former star Speedy Claxton, who won an NBA championship with the San Antonio Spurs, here in attendance under Jay Wright, took Hofstra to the NCAAs in that great season, his senior year of 2000. And now working in the NBA, a scout for the Golden State Warriors, where Hofstra graduate Charles Jenkins now resides. And likely taking a look at Scott Machado here Another great local point guard that appears to be ready to make the leap into the league.
Well, you know, I think he has the vision for an NBA point guard. He has the dribble drive penetration. He knows how to protect the basketball. He doesn't turn the ball over, but yet he also has the ability to score from the outside. And when you have the ability to score and dish at his quickness, you know, that says a lot. And there's always a place in the NBA for someone like him.
And even somebody like this year, Mike Glover, although he is already 24 years old, he has also had a nomadic career, a theme within the Gales. But he's got 9 points and a stat sheet stuffer, 6 rebounds, 3 dunks already, in and out on the second. Certainly will find a home somewhere, at least overseas. And the Gales here with some pressure. Moore, and he picked up a blocking foul. That's 10 team fouls with 6.5 to go here against Iona.
And I like the Mike Moore really trying to take it into the Iona Gales. They're not shying away. They're not backing down. They're not showing any intimidation, despite the fact Iona comes in as one of the elite teams in the country. And, you know, you got to credit Mo Cassera for really preparing his team to play tonight.
For Mike Moore, as we've discussed on several of our broadcasts, Scott, the pressure that is on him this season, particularly now as Kone comes back in, you just simply can't measure. Just 7 scholarship players, a marked man, had a good year last year as playing Robin to Charles Jenkins' Batman, and now he is the primary and sometimes only scorer.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you are the go-to person, you are the one that's prepped for. In every locker room, there's a number 23, someone being prepared to play against, and that gives other people a chance to really step up.
Jones missed the jumper. Glover, though, got it back. Iona will reset the shot clock as Machado comes to get it from Smythe, who's playing with 2 fouls. Ridley, and it's off his hands. And a backcourt violation.
And that's the pressure defense, and Tim Kluse just completely looked shocked. And, you know, with Taj Ridley, he just wasn't expecting the basketball. And, you know, in a game like this, you got to step to the ball.
Randy Zouvre returns. Ridley will sit. So again, Iona's going to go smaller and have Glover as the lone big man. And Tim Kluse went out, added a couple of junior college posts to add to his team to get a little bit bigger. Moore behind the back, leaving it for Imes, trying to go to finish strong. Got his own miss and the putback.
And Imes is really a force inside tonight, and he's doing it on the offensive rebound as well.
An 8-point first half for David Imes. A big lift for Hofstra. He came in averaging just 6 points. And Hofstra putting together a 9-1 run. Zouvre taking Kone off the dribble.
And what they did was they stretched the defense, created the spot in the open, and they got right to the basket.
McClendon finding the opening. Oh, and a difficult left-hand lay-in.
And McClendon really getting into the swing. He had a great game last game, and he's trying to pick up where he left off, coming off the bench to give Hofstra a lift.
And Hofstra's defense continues to have active hands. They have now forced Iona into 13 turnovers, which matches their season average. McMillan, another tough layup.
And McMillan has stepped up big time for this Hofstra program in the absence of Stevie Mejia.
And another Iona turnover. McClendon stepped in for another one. Here's Kone, another chance, and this time he converts. It leads to another Iona timeout.
And Hofstra is beating them up and down the floor on the defensive end, forcing the turnover and turning those turnovers into offensive baskets.
Mo Cassera's team has arisen to the occasion here in the first half with 9 steals and several consecutively.
And McMillan has done it all, and he put it over the arm stretch of Glover. And back the other way, a nice pass up front, and Kone having the ability to catch, come down with it, and go up strong.
A 15-3 run for Hofstra. All 7 scholarship players have already scored here in the first half. And in a much anticipated game, it has been Hofstra that has been the one that has been running and going in the first half.
And I don't think Iona saw this coming. I think they came into this game with slightly overlooking Hofstra being downsized in men, and they're trying to run him into the ground. And what's happening is they're turning the ball over, and turnovers are your worst enemy.
For Tim Cluess in his fine coaching career, he has had so many great teams, both through the high school and college levels, including this Iona team. You know they've been battle-tested, and they come in with a target on their backs on the Pride's home floor. So you know they're going to make a big run with, but this is the territory that it comes. You're 10-2. You're being talked about as a possible Cinderella team this season for the NCAA tournament, and the kind of attention that his Gales have begun to start getting used to.
Oh, really? And you know, they come into this Hofstra facility, and they're packed to mac tonight, and you know, it's a tough place to play when you get a good home crowd.
Machado, and it's knocked away by McMillan. The screen with Glover. Smythe got his feet set. Kone wrestling for the rebound. Stays with Iona, and Dwan McMillan pleading with the freshman to squeeze the ball.
And you got to credit Musa Kone, only a freshman, battling inside with the senior, Mike Glover. He is growing up quickly.
That's a 6-year difference in players. With Kone just 18 and Glover several years out of high school at 24. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. First half. And Machado not on the same page here with Dezouvre.
And you know why? David Imes was overplaying him off to the wing, and David Imes stepped back into the paint and took away the backdoor cut.
And now Machado is going to sit. So for Iona, an uncharacteristic 15 turnovers despite the speed and tempo that they play at.
Oh, and they're having the discussion now. You're the floor leader. You got to take care of the basketball. Turnovers cannot start with you.
Scott Machado in ESPN.com's latest big board for NBA prospects has Machado as number 12 as Imes gets a friendly roll.
And David Imes in his breakout game in this season.
And the lead up to 14 for Hofstra. Jermel Jenkins, Dezouvre, a step and a foul underneath as Imes came up with a big swat. Hofstra's been waiting for a performance like this from the junior from Brooklyn, David Imes. It comes in a rivalry game here at the MAC on Verizon Fios One Sports. Hofstra with a 14-point edge here on Iona at the MAC. This first half is being brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's the ESPN Network live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. Go to Verizon.com/Fios TV online for details. Hofstra with an Iona-like 17-3 run to seize command of this game, and it's been David Imes with a breakout half.
And David Imes, we've been waiting for this all year, and what a time to break out. Knocking down jumpers, making great pull-up jumpers in the lane, and really finding a way to get inside among this strong Iona team and getting offensive rebounds and putbacks.
He was a big focus of this Hofstra team in the preseason about taking the next step to be a guy that averages a double-double, as Randy Dezouvre at the line hitting the first. And it took him some time. Remember, he added close to 20 pounds of muscle to get adjusted to. Dezouvre, a senior, just 1 of 2 at the line. And more with an extended man look here from Iona. McClendon inside Kone. Imes again, spins, can't get that to fall. It would have been certainly his half had that gone down. So Momo Jones running the point with Machado still on the bench for the Gales. Jermel Jenkins, tough move inside, and a charge taken And Musa Kone steps in.
And Musa Kone is good for one of those every game. He steps in when you can get an offensive lift and you have the confidence on the offensive end. It just makes for a great game. And Musa Kone steps outside the circle and takes the charge.
Here is Imes. Two and a half left. McClendon. Skip pass inside, knocked away. DeZouvre intercepts. Transition for the Gales. Smythe. They close out on the shooter. Inside and another charge drawn by Kone.
And Kone is stepping up, and you know what it is? He's reading the skip pass. And when he reads the skip pass, the outside wing goes to close out, and he finds a way to step in and take the charge.
That is the third personal foul on Iona's best outside shooter, or arguably their best outside shooter, Kyle Smythe.
And what a great play, and Kone just gives them a lift, and by taking the charges, they give Hofstra another possession.
And Moore picks up a cheap one on Jones to go back to the line. That's number 2 on Momo.
And a nice move to the baseline. And Mo Cassera looks on. He has to be pleased with this first half, but he's going to tell his team at halftime, complacency can't set in, and you're getting set for some more substitutions.
Moore will shoot 2. Hofstra will bring in another walk-on. Here is Jeremy Good into the game here in the first half. Well, what a thrilling opportunity this must be for the freshman walk-on, originally from Reading, Pennsylvania, prepped at the Taft School in Connecticut. Second one won't go. Kone finds the offensive rebound.
And it gives Hofstra a second opportunity now to put points on the board.
Kone looking for position. Now McClendon taking DeZouvre off the dribble, blocked away. Ran right into a brick wall. Jones, he'll have to earn it.
And Jones had the break, and Mike Moore had to stop the play. And, you know, they went hard to the basket, and a concerned look on Tim Kluse's face. He did not expect this tonight.
Jones will go to the stripe. And he has been a difference maker, says Tim Kluse. He took this Gales program to the next level, from good major team to a team that has gone 10-2 and staring at maybe a 25-plus win season as he's able to hit the first. David Imes, after a short rest, returns. Now Matt Grogan comes in, replacing Jeremy Good. Jones this year, 87% free throws. He started last year on an Arizona team that went all the way to the Elite Eight, but as we said, able to receive the waiver to transfer back and not even sit out due to his ill grandmother.
And Jones had to make an adjustment. Is running the point at Arizona, kind of giving away to Machado and forcing him to kind of go to the wing.
Here is Matt Grogan, airballing the 3. Jones, Kone swatting a piece of it. And now McMillan pushing. Moore will step back, same spot, hits a 3.
And it was only time till Mike Moore got hot, and when he gets hot, there's no stopping Hofstra.
Biggest lead here for Hofstra. Moore with 12. Armand, Ridley forced into the jump shots. And Hofstra with a minute to go in the first half. Imes with 10 points, 8 rebounds. In this first, maybe Hofstra's biggest surprise so far. And the crowd here is near a sellout, getting into it. Grogan. He'll shoot, left it a little short.
And you got to credit Grogan getting to the basket and trying to make something happen.
And you know he's in a difficult spot because you don't want to play 4-on-5 offensively. And the Gales know Mac Rogan is not somebody you expect to score. About a half-second differential between the first half and the shot clock.
And this becomes a big stop, big momentum stop for the Pride.
Ridley. Musa Kone drew his third charge of the first half.
What a defensive stop for Musa Kone. When you can get your 6'7" forward to step in and take a charge, and this kid is only a freshman.
Hofstra will use a timeout with a 15-point lead in the first half. And Musa Kone among those that have, for Hofstra, emerged and stepped up.
And you know, when he can read, he's a great person that can read, and he knows how to step up and take the charge up high, so there is no discrepancy whether it's a charge or a block. And his third one of the half, and what defensive stops for this young man.
For Iona, their season high in turnovers is 19. They have 18. And for Musa Kone, who wears those goggles, he does not have great vision in his left eye. He didn't get the goggles until he got to college. And look at Hofstra converting those turnovers. Kone went through some growing pains, and here is Hofstra. Moore, Imes, 3 seconds and a half. And no basket. Basket interference on Kone. Very close, but I believe referee Brian Dorsey got it right. So Iona with just 0.4. And there's only enough time to get a tip. What a story here in the first half. Hofstra 43-28, leading one of the great stories around the country in college basketball, the Iona Gales, here on their home floor. Let's go now to Eva.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Hofstra head coach Mo Cassera. Coach, before we get to the defense, David Imes is a guy who all year you've said you need him to step up. 10 points in the last game, 10 points in the first half tonight. What do you think of him?
Yeah, his energy's great. You know, we need Dave to score for us to be successful. I thought he did a great job of that tonight, and he actually had a couple other opportunities around the basket. I thought that last shot was actually going in.
And 18 turnovers forced against an Iona team that averages 13 in a game. All the charges that Musa took. Quite a defensive first half for you guys.
Just really, really proud of our guys. Our energy's great. Our execution isn't perfect, but if we continue to play that hard, we're going to keep ourselves competitive throughout the year.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck in the second half. Ralph?
What a story here from Mo Cassera's team, a 15-point lead on Iona. What a second half we're going to have. We're coming back with our first half highlights and numbers from Hempstead on Verizon Fios One Sports. In a surprising set of circumstances, Hofstra a 15-point lead over Iona here at the break. With Scott Green, Ralph Bjornchik bringing you our halftime, brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's the ESPN Networks live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. Go to Verizon.com/Fios TV online for details. Into our first half highlights, Hofstra able to force 18 turnovers.
And David Imes in a breakout first half, 10 points, 8 rebounds, really getting it done on the inside, forcing everything, and having Iona really come out and guard. Shooting from the top, really doing a great job letting everything fall. Mike Glover, though, on the other side, showing his athleticism at 6'7", getting up in the air, shooting up the alley-oops with some thunderous dunks, and he really turned it on to keep Iona in the game. But Mike Moore, 12 points in the first half, on the steal and a score, and really getting limited to the outside, but at the end of the half, knocks down a big three to extend the lead. Iona held to a season-low 28 first half points.
And also shooting in the lowest half of the season, 36%, as we look at our first half numbers.
And you look at some of those numbers, points off turnovers, 17 off those turnovers, 18 turnovers for Iona. That is unheralded, and especially when 5 of them come from your point guard, Scott Machado.
Iona at 10-2. They average 86 points a game. You better believe this one is not over yet. 20 more minutes left here at the MAC. It's Hofstra by 15 on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. Hofstra leads Iona by 15 here on Verizon Fios 1 Sports with Scott Green, Ralph Pinorchik. First, we check in before the second begins with Eva.
Guys, I caught up with Iona associate head coach Jared Russell at the end of halftime. The message to the team was simply that they have to play better and take better care of the basketball. Coach Russell told me that he said to the team, if we don't change this right now, we're going to lose by 30. And he's really going to look to his upperclassmen to see if they can change the energy with this team right now, guys.
And certainly for Tim Kluse, you can imagine and anticipate that kind of locker room he had, not even speaking coming off the floor, but he does have plenty of veterans, all upperclassmen that do start as we revisit our Verizon 401 keys to the game.
Oh, Iona located number 23, took him out of his three-point shooting, but he still got his points. They had trouble setting the tempo and made it in favor of Hofstra. They didn't limit turnovers, but they handled the ball pressure exceptionally well.
Iona starts 2 seniors in Glover and Machado, 2 juniors, Ridley and Jones. Hofstra to open up with possession in a great scene, a scene that got better by the minute as Hofstra continues to surge forward. More on the cut through. Able to get it back, and now we'll get the tie up, giving it back to the Gales.
Well, he lost possession. It was a great offense. They got to get a little more spacing on the inside, and that will allow him to get it open to the basket.
So Hofstra turning it over for just the 9th time. Scott Machado did not play the last 4 minutes of the first half. He's got 5 assists, but an uncharacteristic 5 turnovers, only averages 3.5 and 10.5 assists per. He'll take it in and turn it over again.
And he's dribbling right into the double team, and that's forcing these turnovers left and right for Machado.
Nathaniel Lester continues where he left off.
And Hofstra just comes out on fire again.
9 for